All right, listeners, hello and welcome back to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and man, it has been a wonderful July. How are you all feeling out there? It has just been a little crazy. Last week we talked about having our freedoms to go back out, and then I'm in a hot state being in Arizona. So, we got locked back down. So that's been a little bit difficult for us. But what we talked a lot about was how no matter the uncertainty that is going on beyond us, we have the opportunity to create certainty for us. And so, how do we do that, right? How do we create certainty for us? And we're going to be talking to I'm going to call them fitness experts today because I believe they have unorthodox ways of approaching fitness, how they're able to achieve their goals, and really design not only the bodies that they've been able to design for themselves, but they've been able to design a lifestyle and a life through just huge transformations. And it's never too late for any of us to transform our lives, to really show up. We talk about this, ladies, all the time, to really show up as you and be that authentic person that you are and be seen the way that you want to be seen, which is standing out and being who it is that you need to be in life. So I'm very excited about our interviews today. And before we get to our guests, I wanted to get caught up really quick with Lead Up for Women. We have two additional webinars that are available for all of you to attend, that our members are the ones that step up to the plate, that shine, that get spotlighted, that stand on the platform, and they share their creative genius with you. And on July 28th, Jen Duplessis, which I mentioned last week, is going to be teaching us about cracking the top producer code. And then we have Ann Andrews. I'm really excited to bring her forward. She has an approach of what you wear says a lot about who you are as a person. So she aligns your professional image with your brand and your messaging. So, we're all showing up on Zoom. So how are we showing up on Zoom? What kind of clothes do we wear? Do you buy all black clothes? Or are you buying clothes with a lot of patterns, a lot of colors? What do you wear? So she's going to be bringing that to the table, and I'm excited for that for August 11th. I'll be sure to put those links in the description there for you to be able to quickly sign up for those. But if you haven't already, I do invite you to go over to our website, Lead Up for Women, snag, get on the free newsletter, get a free digital, copy of our magazine, and sign up for these free webinars because they're opportunities for you on the second and fourth Tuesday to be educated, inspired, and motivated. And that's why we're here. We're actually adding another opportunity for our members. Every Monday morning, we're going live on Facebook, and a different member every week is going to come forward and talk to you about their genius. They're going to offer you some more tools. They're going to offer you some additional events that they have going on. Again, opportunities for you to continue to keep leveling up so you can what? Lead up in your life. That's what we're all about. So, and then the last one I wanted to talk about was starting in September, we're going to be doing lunch and learns where we come together with our lunches virtually, of course, and we're going to be teaching for 90 minutes. We're going to have sponsors that are going to be there to offer you free opportunities. We have so much in store for you, and we do this because we want you to be able to show up, be seen, and lead up in your life every day. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a listener, sharing our show, and being with us every week. So let's get to our awesome guest that we have today, Lisa Frumhoff. Let me talk to you a little bit about Lisa. So I met Lisa because her and I were invited to co-author a book called The Anatomy of Accomplishment. Now, I didn't know who Lisa was before that point. And then as I flew in and got the opportunity, and this was, gosh, right before the lockdown, when I got to fly in and hang out with Lisa in her neck of the woods, I would say. It was in, was it St. Louis, Missouri? I think it was St. Louis that I flew into. Mm-hmm. And I got to meet Lisa, and she just right away, she had this energy about her that connected me to her. Then I got to know more about who she is and what she does, but her real story is what she's been, the transformation she's made lately in her life that I don't even think she thought was possible, because she's been in real estate selling homes for 26 years as a real estate agent, and she has just unlocked that code of how to be a top producer, has taught other real estate agents how to be a top producer. And then she stepped into a transformational time of her life where she shifted her mind, body, and spirit like no one I've ever seen before. So, Lisa Frumhoff, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Colleen. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you
It's
so
so
much.
good to have you here. Well, I want to start with asking you the question, because you flood your social media. So if people aren't following you, Lisa Frumhoff, if you guys aren't following her, and it's spelled Frauh or Mhoff, and I'll have her link in the description.
It's
If you're
it's Frumhoff, pronounced
UM.
Frumhoff. Like, where are you from? Frumhoff.
UM. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that. So if you're not following her, go follow her, because she has daily inspiration while she's out working out or walking or whatever it is that she's doing. She just has this great spirit about her. So I love following her on social media. But what I would like for you to talk about is tell us a little bit about your history, but how have you stepped into really being the creator of your life? When did you figure out that you could give yourself the permission to be the creator of your life and then step into that?
Wow, that's a great question. I started this particular journey that transformed like none other in October last year, and I think it really was digging into that zone that I was in, but not really realizing where I had no idea where it was going to take me. I just knew that it was time to commit to me. I had given to others up to that point, and I think it was really when I saw that opportunity of the book and that we were both in, and I realized I had something to say, and I stepped into, as I do in my life, looking from the perspective of what's possible. I've done that all my life. Started with sports, and so just really seeing through this transformational journey, and this year, in the last, I would say, in the last 6 months, continuing to allow myself to blossom, and
Yeah.
express. Yeah.
Yeah.
And go beyond what I knew, because I'm going online. I'm not used to sharing as much or being as vulnerable as I've been um, online as I have.
Great. Well, let's talk about that, because I believe that you're not the only one out there that is not comfortable being vulnerable. Because when you're vulnerable, you're opening yourself up for hurt, but you're also opening yourself up for joy. So, talk about why. Why now? Now that you've found your voice, why now are you so comfortable being vulnerable online and sharing your story? Why are you doing that?
I am doing that now. I realize that I can make a difference to people now. Like, people are searching for how to find strength. I'm going to get moved.
It's
Um,
fine.
there's definitely been a time when I got to my heaviest weight that I wasn't mentally prepared for what was coming in the world. Having lost my sister 13 years ago, and then all that happens in life, that we always have life and death happen. And during this time, um, I guess it was after my dad and my two senior dogs passed last year that I had seen that if I needed to commit to myself. And then when we hit this time this year of the unprecedented times, I knew that I could really tap into that athlete in me, and the mindset is the only thing that we have control over. That's what I found. And so as I found strength in my consistency every day, committing to my health and well-being, the exercise, the walking, the quieting my mind to take care of myself, and sharing with others, as I realized that people started appreciating the inspiration, and then they started stepping out to go walking. And I want people to be empowered to know that no matter what is going on in our life, that when we go inward first, because I'm a giver. I give probably I've given way more to others, I think, than I've given to myself, as I think women in general it's just a cultural thing maybe, but going to give to myself has been the biggest gift I could give to myself. And then sharing it with others to say, hey, you can have this too. I'm not special. I'm just willing to see what's possible. That's my perspective in life. And then I'm willing to do the work. And that was something someone shared with me today, that they've seen and known me for one of the longest times. And that's a quality in me. And so I wanted to, I don't know, I always heard that when we reach our 50s, we don't care what other people think. I kept waiting for that to happen. And now I'm 56. And I suppose it is when COVID hit and this whole thing, I thought, you know what? What am I waiting for? I mean, I have so many gifts that I've been blessed with that only certain people know. And then as I like, well, what am I waiting for? And as I share them and the response is like, I made a difference for them. That's profound. That's fulfillment for me.
You have an incredible message, Lisa, which is what were you waiting for? And why is it the age of 50, right? Why couldn't it be the age of 40? And I really feel that it's because of the fear that we have of judgment and the comparison that others put upon us, not that we're requesting it, but we care so much about what others think. Why? Why do
Yeah.
we care when what they think is not a reflection of us anyway? It's always a reflection of them.
Yes. You're so right. You're so right. It is. And it's finally to see, you know what? Everybody's got everybody's got an opinion.
Mhm.
And really at the end of the day, the only opinion now I see, and it's still a muscle to strengthen, is my God and me. Like my higher power, my spirit, my spirits that are around me, and all the that's what matters at the end of the day. I heard something. I listened to a lot of different motivational speakers. I'm so grateful for you in my life and what you provide for a platform for us, for women, and inspiring other women to step up and lead up for who they are, and offer their gifts and everything. And I heard something of recent. It's like, when we're on our deathbed, and it's like, what regrets would we have, and where was I holding back? That it's like, okay, what am I waiting for? Now is the time, you know?
Yeah. We've got this one life here on earth, right?
That's it.
So why not be who we were meant to be? Show up, step out, and we're not created to fit in. We're created to stand out. So how do you stand out? Let's go back to, Lisa, you were a real success. You've had 26 years of really great success as a real estate agent. And it took you stepping into wanting to be part of this book to realize you had a voice. Why do you feel you didn't have a voice for 26 years as a successful real estate agent?
Hmm. Wow, that's so good. Um, Well, if I could back that to a 19-year mark,
Yeah.
okay, 19-year mark in 2002. In 2002, I was when I was inducted in the Hall of Fame the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, the All-American Award was never up at the school. And I looked for validation to prove, and I've looked for validation to others to like, okay, now I'm good enough. And when that award showed up, and then I was inducted in the Hall of Fame, and I walked in the first time and I saw that award and I sobbed. It was like the validation, the perspective I lived my life from, and the perspective I lived my life from, the context that we live from is decisive. And up to that point, I lived in the context of I was a failure because I transferred schools. And then actually that was a story I made up. When I actually talked to the athletic director, they knew who I was. And then they inducted me as the first woman soccer player. And then our team was inducted in 2012. So then that was 8 years ago. And I think it's just being such a people pleaser all my life and looking for that validation outside of myself, that when I stepped into this book was actually is actually part of this transformational journey I took in taking control of my health and well-being, that it became about tracking everything I ate and committing to being consistent with walking and weight bearing, that I could see I could produce those results and the power that I have with that. And that it became about, it's all about our mindset. And I think I just tapped into that athlete that was so competitive and so focused growing up, and being so committed to being my own personal best and my best version of me, and letting in the acknowledgement from other people and seeing that they were wanting to hear more of what I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have a voice to use, and we all have something important to say that somebody else needs to hear. And I just want all the listeners to remember that, because you have a voice and you need to use your voice to speak up in whatever way that is. So, you know, Lisa, I love your vulnerability to say that it was the book that was brought forth that gave you the voice. But then once you found your voice, it just didn't stop. And then, you know, once you thought you were just losing weight, right? So you started with a losing weight journey. Tell us what happened in the middle of the losing weight journey.
That's great. So what happened in the middle of the weight loss journey is the first challenges I stepped into, because I'm such a competitive person, the challenges were first about competing with others. It was the third challenge that started April 11th, April 11th this year. I made the challenge about competing with myself and competing with tweaking my exercise, tweaking my diet, being the best version of me, continuing to step out of my comfort zone, because I have heard and I see that miracles happen on the skinny branches. And as I stepped out of my comfort zone, and as I keep stepping out of my comfort zone, what happened during this last 8 weeks, and I got beyond where my goal was physically, and I actually started speaking up in the house I was living in for 5 years. And I've moved into a new apartment. I've taken a stand for what I want in my life now. And I was thinking about this on my 3 mile walk this morning. I was like, you know, there's a vast future here. And that's why everybody makes that analogy to the rear mirror. You know, whatever happened yesterday, whatever I was upset about, I wake up in the middle of the night and I listen to some meditation to put me back to sleep. That is in the past. That is done. I can learn from it. But is moving forward and seeing the possibilities that I started Okay, so in my apartment, I have these two big mirrors. I had to ask a past client. He's always on Facebook, you know, marketplace. I said, if you find mirrors, let me know, because I working out at home now. I look in the mirror every day. I'm like, oh, that's what I look like. Because I forget, and my mind still thinks I'm what I look like at the pickleball cutout that I have of me in September. But it's not just physical. It's like the transformation is it's as big on the inside as on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
which blows me away and is so exciting. And I get so turned on and excited when someone makes a comment about something I shared or a vulnerable thing I might put out there, or a picture of me in a bikini that I never ever would have seen myself in.
Yeah.
Just to be able to show that before and after, and the possibility that's available for anyone.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really feel like you're a true example to so many women out there, of what's possible no matter what age you are. This life is about us, and as women, you're right, we do tend to give and serve to others. And if our cup is full and is running over, then we're able to provide more to others. And it's the analogy of, the simple visual analogy of being on a plane, and they always say put your mask on first, right? We want to help everyone get their mask on, but if we don't put our mask on first, we can't help everyone in the plane. So unless you take care of yourself, you're really not able to be that example to your family or your children or your friends or anybody else that might be in your life. And so, Lisa, thank you for really showing up today. I commend you for showing up. This is something I just know you do now, because you don't want to go back to being trapped or in that box or being hidden behind what Lisa used to be. I love this Lisa, because this Lisa's raw and vulnerable and emotional and true to who she is. And you found Lisa, like you really found who you are, and you're so happy. And every female or man listening to this podcast can be that happy. You just have to be willing to step out of the cage that's kept you blocked for so long.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to really find who you are. So, what if you could give advice to someone listening that really is feeling your rawness today and how you've gotten to where you are? What would you say to them?
Just take that step today. Just take the one action today that is for yourself. Um, it's a every day. It's like a day at a time. It really is that simple. I use the analogy: how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time?
Mhm.
It's not to. It's to be kind and gentle with ourselves. Be kind, loving, and gentle with yourself,
Yeah,
and self nurturing. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Especially during now, right?
yeah.
Especially now, because the world is different and we have to acknowledge that it's not the same. So, how do you create certainty for yourself, right? How do you create that every day for yourself? And you do that through fitness, you do that through just waking up and being Lisa every day and promising to yourself that you're just going to step forward with your best foot.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
all we can do, right? Every day. And if one day doesn't work out so great, don't worry about it. Just tomorrow's another day, and try again tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I really do get present to, and I don't wake up this way. So it's a mindset. It's oh, wow, I have another day. Today is a gift,
Yeah.
and I get to do anything I want today. What am I going to do? How do I want to feel? What's going to make it a 10 day,
Yeah.
a 10 on the charts? And it always includes getting outside and doing some sort of activity. And
Yeah.
for me, even finding that 20 minutes of a walk is transformational.
That's awesome. So, Lisa, how can our listeners, other than we're going to have all of your links, in the description, so when they're listening to the podcast, they can just pop on those links. For someone listening, how can they connect with you? If do you have anything to offer the listeners, today?
Yes, so I have a free copy of the chapter of my book. It's called of the book that Colleen and I are in together. The chapter of my book is called Real Connections Matter. And you can go to my website, lisafrumhoff.com, and you can go to that link. Or you can just put your email in. I'll put my information down in the comments. You can reach out to me by email, by phone. I'd love to provide a free copy of my chapter. And for anyone that's in Missouri, because I'm a licensed realtor in Missouri, I can offer you a free market analysis. Um, and I really am committed to making a difference for others in their health and well-being. And
Yeah.
so, um, if you're looking for guidance and coaching and just someone to support you in listening for your greatness, reach out to me too.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm giddy excited. You have so much to offer people in Missouri, right? In the Missouri area because of your, doing real estate there. And trust me when I tell you, she is like on the top with sales and production there. But she's such an inspiration. And if you're looking to understand how you can take that first step, she's also there to support women and men on how they can have the same results that she has had in this transformation because she believes so much in it. And as you can tell from her interview, it's completely changed her life. So thank you so much, Lisa, for being with us today. All right. So stay with us. We're going to go ahead and talk to Batista. So, Batista, welcome to the show. So
Hello.
great to
Thank you
have you
so
here.
much. I'm so excited. What a great story. I
Yeah.
I love inspirational stories of transformation. It's just wonderful.
Well, you have your own story of transformation. And I was, as I was talking with the two of you earlier, I was shocked at how it just lined up today. And I just believe it was fate that both of you were on today's show because you both have transformation that's happened in your fitness world. So, talk to us a little bit about what's happened, Batista, with your story and the pain that you had that you needed relief from that maybe many of our listeners listening can relate to.
Yeah, so I have quite a different story as yours. Mine started when I'm actually a former flamenco and ballet dancer. So my whole life was about being healthy, being fit, looking good. It was also about no pain, no gain. The show must go on. And this was my whole entire life. Now, what happened is that when I was in my mid 20s, I had a series of car accidents, and it left me with a lot of chronic pain. And then, being a dancer over that, by the time I reached my mid 40s, I was in serious pain. I had so many chronic injuries: back, neck, knees, Achilles, shoulder. It was like really bad. And I found myself being completely against the wall. For me, it was a matter of basically losing my career. And that's all I had ever done. I started dancing when I was 3 years old. Basically, my mother was a ballet dancer, my father was a mime, and that's all I had ever done. And now, if I was going to lose my body, then what would I do? I had never done anything else. And I prayed. I prayed real hard. I was like, it was like the end of the road for me.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, I made at the time I was holding meditation groups, and I was very involved in the spirituality and meditation. And one night I said, I looked around. I was in a meditation class, and I had kind of a moment of clarity. It's like I woke up, and I saw, like, the room I was in, my friends, beautiful people, very enlightened, very spiritual, and myself. And we we were talking about body, mind, spirit integration. And I was thinking, you know too much not to have a grip on these injuries. There was a disconnect. And then I look around and I saw that a lot of people in the room also had a lot of problems with their bodies. Maybe overweight, maybe underweight, maybe, with diseases, pains, and things. And I saw a lot of suffering, including my own. And that's that night I decided I must find the piece of the puzzle that is missing. So I gathered the group, the meditation group, and we made an intention, and we were going to find the answer. And we made mock-up boards, and we prayed, and we lit candles, and you name it, we did it, right? And the next day I met Dr. Fitness USA. So who is Stephen Hersey, also known as Dr. Fitness USA. And he told me about his weight training system. And weight training was completely not in my consciousness. I was a dancer. I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't lift a pound of anything. My shoulder was frozen. My back was shot. And besides, I didn't want to get bulky because, as a dancer, but there was something intriguing about the conversation. And I like what you talked about in the interview earlier about us women being in the giving mode and always giving and doing. And what he was telling me is just exactly what you ladies talked about earlier. He said, as a woman, you have to learn to receive, and you have to work out from a female perspective. You have to learn never to do anything that's uncomfortable. And I was thinking, weight training and never doing anything that's uncomfortable, that does not fit in the same sentence, because weight training sounds really hard, but I was desperate. Okay. I had prayed for it, and there it was. So I hired him. And I started working on this system, and within a couple of weeks, my backache was gone. This is a backache of 35 years. And then my shoulders started healing, and then all my injuries started healing very, very quickly. And I learned a whole new way of being connected with my body through this process. And so, to make a long story short, I married him. Yeah. So so that meditation turned out to be pretty good. Not only I found the answers to my body, but I got a really awesome husband. So in the process, I wanted to know what is the difference. So then I made a career transition. I had a lot of hardships during that time. The economy crashed in 2008. Both my parents died. My dance studio caught on fire. I mean, it was just a series of just things happening. And that's when I decided to make a career transition and start the business with Stephen. I started researching the method, and in the process of the research, I ended up writing a book, Feminine Body Design, Empowering Fitness for a Pain-Free Life, basically dispelling the myth, that a lot of women have about taking care of their bodies, and that was the beginning of my transformation. And I've been pain-free for 11 years. And I'm stronger than ever. I mean, I go to a gym, I leg press 650 pounds.
What?
650, easy, smiling. I make the boys cry in the gym. And I'm 60 years old, you know what I mean? And who couldn't lift anything, I chest press 135 pounds. I can take a 40-pound dumbbell. I'm strong, and it's amazing to be connected with that strength, because when you put the body back into balance, amazing things happen. You tap into that power. Yeah. So that's my story.
I thank you so much. And Batista, I got, first of all, I got two really strong messages from that. And the first one is, where you see your life today doesn't mean that's where your life needs to be 10 years from now. I mean, look at all the changes just from you searching out for a way for you to feel healthier and pain-free turned into you hiring him, marrying Stephen, right?
Steven, yes.
Marrying him. And then now joining him on this journey and writing a book and becoming an author, so you now can teach others how to be pain-free. And I want
Yeah.
our listeners to understand what this, linear line is here that both of these guests have brought to light. Anything is possible in your life. And when you are seeking for yourself change and something to make your life better, most of the time, once you're through it and it's in your rearview mirror and not in your windshield, you're the inspiration for others to do the same. And you've become an inspiration for so many, both of you, for so many other women and men to follow in your footsteps. Because I'm sure now, Batista, you're thinking, if you're living with pain out there, why? Because you don't have to live with pain. So why would you be living with the pain?
It's amazing, and because this is my message, my journey, and I know it's possible, but it's true. It's absolutely true. People are so used to have pain, those who have pain, and a lot of people have pain, trust me, more than we think. I mean, I talk to people, statistically 80% of people have back pain, for example. 80%. I mean, but when I talk about being pain,
just in my family, I have 4 just in my
yeah,
immediate family that
yeah,
suffer with pain.
yeah, exactly. And shoulder big, 40 and up, big, and when I talk to them and I said, you can be pain free, it's almost like they don't believe it. Yeah. They don't believe it. It's like
Voodoo.
And I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it either, but I woke up one day, but it's like we get used to it and we settle.
Yeah. Or we think, and Lisa, you'll have to unmute yourself, or we think that in order for us to be pain-free, the only route to that is surgery or something in the Western medical bucket, which I'm always trying to pull everyone away from, more to the Eastern medicine, which has been around for, hundreds of centuries and years, versus the Western, which is just treating the symptoms, right? And needing to have surgery. There's so many opportunities through fitness, through strength training, through stretching, through specialized body design, as you're talking about, that is able to solve those problems.
Absolutely. We see this all the time. And through my research, because I was always curious, why? Because I worked with personal trainers. I was in the fitness, so I was very physical and I could not get rid of my injuries. So I got really curious of why this system does what it does and not anything else that I've done before. And if I may, I'd like to just touch in a couple of points of some of the things that I found. One of the things that this system, one of the principles of this system is first to work at the realignment of the spine. Yeah. So we work on structural alignment. And a lot of times people think, oh, you got to work the core, But really the foundation of your body is the spine. And when the spine is misaligned, things start shifting out of alignment. It's like a domino effect. So this is the first thing that we do. And then it's also correcting muscular imbalances. Because if you work on the spine, it's like that is the thing chiropractors don't tell you. They crack your spine, they put you back into alignment, but then they don't tell you have to build the muscles to hold the alignment up. Yeah. So this is like the two things. But then we work with the nervous system because people are really stressed out. You know what I mean? And I compare the nervous system like the electrical panel in your house. If you plug in too many appliances and your electrical panel is outdated, you're going to blow a fuse.
Yeah.
All right. And it's the same thing with the body and the nervous system. So people, they have their jobs, their family, the stress, now the pandemic. And so everybody's stressed out, and then they go work out and they're going to do more and more. And it's this wheel, no pain, no gain, keep going. And then you blow a fuse. So in our system, we work with grounding the body, so always being very grounded and centered in the body. And then we work with strength increase and ergonomics. So we do everything in a very safe, secured way where you can get, literally, we can get somebody 50% stronger really, really rapidly. I mean, that's 650. We can take a woman that's 60 years old that has never worked out, put her like on a leg press machine, and in the first 20 minutes, she will leg press 400 pounds and smile. But what that does, it realigns the spine because we have a support system, like an ergonomic support system that actually puts your spine into alignment. And what it does is it clears the neuromuscular pathway to the brain, and it acts kind of like acupressure because you're working with weights. So you're triggering the meridians in the body. And when you do it like this, it strengthens the nervous system. So I compare it like rewiring your house. It's profound.
Wow. That sounds
And,
amazing. So
and
I know everyone's thinking right now, like, wow, this is really awesome. How do I get access to what she's talking about, right? So it's probably on everyone's mind. So I'm just going to ask the question now. How does someone get access to the programs that you do? Because, we're global. So we have, women listening and men listening from all over the world. Do you have these virtually? Are they
okay.
online? How do they get access to be able to not only connect with you, but have access to these programs that they can, do inside of their home as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. When I met Stephen 10 years ago, it was all one on one physically, but I had a vision that we could offer this to more people. So my research led to put the programs online. And so we've been working virtually online. So now we work, worldwide. And of course, prior to the pandemic, it was also still done in the gym. But of course, now we have programs that are done at home, like you have to. So you can go to
Mm-hmm.
drfitnessusa.com, and there's a lot of information about the systems, and we have now offer master classes through Zoom, and like people are doing now. And we have courses online that people can join to learn to work out from home. I have a free offer for you to come and do one of our master class. Well, you see, when the pandemic happened, we didn't have any weights at home because we always worked out at the gym. So we had to become very creative. So we put together a program that people can do with water bottles and whatever they have in the house. And that's still based on the philosophy and the system that we teach. So that's what I'm offering in the master class. And yeah, so we have a lot of goodies.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And, I wanted to ask you, Batista, really, truly, um, what are the steps that you would give somebody that's listening right now that might be struggling with back pain, and maybe they've tried yoga, and it seems like people will start or try something one time, but then they don't stick with it, right? You don't see the transformations of trying something just one time. What would you recommend to them as a starting point for, Lisa's recommendation was just take the first step, right? You just have to take the first step. What would you say would be a starting point for someone who's really looking to design, their body or relieve the pain that you're talking about, that most people, will need this type of structure for?
Well, the first step would be the mindset that you have to believe that it's possible, because if you don't believe it, then it's not going to come your way. You know, it's like they say when when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and the teacher didn't appear for me until I said, "Wait, this is not right. I need to have something," right? So, you know, if you can conceive it, you can believe it, then you can achieve it. So that would be the first thing, to work on the mindset and work on your self-limiting belief system
Yeah.
that it is possible. And then the teacher appears. And if you're listening to this podcast, this interview, you may just have found the teacher.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. If you're listening, then you're ready. And then you definitely just got the answer that you were looking for, and your teacher just appeared. And I've not heard that saying before. And I'm so happy that you shared that the teacher appears when the student is ready, because, you know, I look back on my life, like I know many of you looked back on your life through this. You weren't ready. You know, Lisa wasn't ready to use her voice. It wasn't until she had the opportunity, then all of a sudden all of this other opportunity showed up, when she probably didn't even knew that it existed before that time, or what the path could look like to go down. So we've had an amazing interview today with both of you. This has just been so amazing. I want all of you to connect with our guests that we've had on the show today, to be able to design the life that you want to have, you know, and get your mindset where it needs to be. And if you're feeling that pull today, take action. Don't wait. You know, this platform is for you to take action on what you hear, for you to reach out and take these free offers. There's not even any obligation other than your effort and your energy and you believing it's possible. And then, you know, once you get into motion, you know, then you will be able to have that, you know, really anchored down for you to know that it's possible. And I have two beautiful examples here today of how it is possible, how they've completely have gotten pain-free, transformed their life where they never even thought possible. And so what our mind tells us is designed as, you know, success, and the way culture or society is designing what success is. You have to bring it back to you and get out of here and really get into your heart and really listen to your intuition and your pull of what your body, listen to your body, listen to what your body needs, listen to what your life needs. You know, we've heard some really great lessons of that today. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. And I'm going to, again, ask all of you to take action and reach out to them and follow them on social media and whatever it is that you want to do. It's a great opportunity for you to snag up some of their free opportunities, as well as take action on your life and step out of that cage that we talked about, and have no regrets. Have no regrets when you get down to the end. Have no regrets. All right. So last thing that I want to say is next week on, I don't even remember. I think next week it's on Wednesday. So it'd be the 29th. Next week on Wednesday, the 29th, Arlene Warwick, she is a sponsorship extraordinaire and will help you with sponsorships and how can you grow your business through sponsorships and getting the notice of other companies that are there supporting you along the way. And I'm really excited to speak with her and Gina, who we're going to also have as a guest next week. We always have very exciting females that are lined up to speak to you about how you can step into conscious, how you can design your life, how you can change your life. You know, Lead Up for Women, we've named this Speak Up to Lead Up for a reason. You have to use your voice. So what are you going to do this week to find your voice and to use your voice? So that's my challenge to all of you. And remember that you are the only you that has ever been. You are the only you that will ever be. Let that sink in for a minute. So how you pioneer your future, it's up to you. So ladies, thank you for joining us. Gentlemen as well. Be you and be strong. And we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye, ladies.
Bye. Thank you so much.